Hey y'all, welcome back to Made It Out. Today's episode is brought to you by Hinge. It's a very special episode where we are going to talk about the LGBTQIA plus date report, D.A.T.E report. We're going to talk about Gen Z dating, trends, just some data that they've collected with
Sarah Lugor.
Oh, Sarah Lugor.
Yes.
Content creator and musician and dater.
Yeah, I do that.
Let's talk about dating.
Oh my God.
First, let's start with, tell me about like your journey with sexuality.
Okay.
You, when you were a kid, did you know that you were queer?
I thought I was a lesbian up until I started dating. Yeah, I had an aversion towards men. I didn't know what it was. It could be a lot of things. It could be like my interactions with men that I met when I was a kid. It could also be like the dynamics that I witnessed when I was a kid. Just like kind of like, also like my mom was super independent, but then my dad was like super, and I was like, ugh. That kind of like pissed me off. I was like, ugh, I don't want that in my life. So then when I grew up, I also found myself like physically attracted to women first. Like my first crush was like when I was pretty young. And then it wasn't until like 5th grade, I moved from Minnesota to Vegas because my mom was like, I'm going through a divorce. Let's go to Vegas. I was
wow.
Vegas? Why would you do that? But we moved there and then I made friends with this girl and we were like connected by the hip. And then I was like, why do I kind of want to kiss her? Oh.
Wait, how old were you at this point?
How are you in 5th grade? Like 11?
Okay.
10? Yeah. And then I didn't say anything. And she ended up talking to and dating another girl and I got super jelly belly. But I was like, let me digest this. Because I also had really low self-confidence up until, honestly, I blew up on TikTok. And then when I got older, I didn't date. I had my first kiss when I was 18.
Okay.
Someone pressured me. Well, 17. They were like, the whole group was like, he has a crush on you. He has a crush on you. Kiss him, kiss him, kiss him. And I was like, oh my God, I'm being pressured. But I was like, whatever, they'll leave me alone if I do it. And so we kissed in front of my car one day. And then I was like, oh, that wasn't even good. Like, oh, why am I doing this? And so I didn't date. And then my friends were making fun of me. This is messed up. So to my previous friends, I'm not mad at you. This sounds a little bit messed up, but I only lost my virginity because I was getting made fun of all the time. And so I asked someone, I was like, will you take my virginity? I don't want to go to college virgin. And he was under the pretense that I would fall in love with him afterwards.
Right.
But I didn't.
Okay.
I was like, thank you, bye, goodbye. I just wanted to get this over with. And he was just like, what the And I was like, what? We talked about this extensively. It was just the physicality of it all.
Right.
And also because our friends were in on it. Like, they were just like, he likes you. He likes you. Like, you just got to get it over with. Like, you got to just get over this hump. And then I was like, ugh, I didn't like that either. So what's going on here? And then I got older, graduated high school, and then the pandemic happened. And one of my friends who lives in Vegas, she basically had a friend that was coming to visit from her school. She went to like a private Catholic school in like Northern California. And so she came down and then she had a little crush on me. And I was like, hey girl, what's up? And it was like, before like, I had like homoerotic relationships with my friends where it's just like, one of your friends is like super into you and like wants to be around you all the time and might like try to kiss you when they're drunk. But then I'm like, what's going on here? Yeah. Because I'm a pretty big like boundary person where like want everything to be like written out in plain text or we talk about it before like I engage and stuff like that. And so I was always like, I'm just not going to do anything, you know? And then this girl that I met through my mutual friend during the pandemic, since we were all quarantining together, it was like, she was like, I have a crush on Sarah. And I was like, okay. And then we were like kind of intimate. And then we went to go visit her family. And then she introduced me as her girlfriend. And I was like,
wow.
Oh, we're dating now.
News to you.
That was like my first real relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was like, this is news to me, but I guess I'm supposed to be a girlfriend. So I was like kind of in that relationship for a while. And then at the end of the pandemic, I met my ex-boyfriend at a content creator house. And then I was like, I like boys.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so I am bisexual. I was like speculating, I was like, maybe, because I didn't want to like adhere to a label and then feel like, because I'm so young, that was the one thing I was like, I don't want to adhere to a label and then feel like I'm betraying myself and everyone else online that's kind of like confiding in me. Yeah, I don't know. I've dated like my ex-boyfriend and then my ex-girlfriend, and that's been, now I've been like casually dating. I've never done that. But yeah.
Interesting. Do you feel, because we're like almost 10 years apart, you and I, do you feel like being queer, being lesbian, being bisexual was more accepted in your generation, or it was more regular or more accepted to question those labels?
I think that in a messed up kind of way, I do think that our generation has a like propensity towards like attaching themselves to labels to kind of like make themselves feel like it almost like is like forcing a type of community, even if that's not particularly their label, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Because I feel like I've met a lot of people who feel like they have to be like, I'm a lesbian today, but then they're still questioning and they're kind of like confused, but because they want to be part of something bigger, they're like, okay, I'm going to say that I'm a lesbian today. And even though I'm kind of exploring and I know that I'm young and I still have this doubt, because I've had like a lot of people say that and like question, but then it's almost, it starts to like kind of carry shame with them. I don't know. It's so weird. It's like, it's a complex thing. I feel like I do think it's like, yeah, they're more welcoming and open about sexuality, but they're also more rigid about what that sexuality means. If you say that you're a lesbian today, they expect you to be a lesbian forever. And also to never waver, because if you waver, that means that you're kind of like denouncing when that's not what it is. It's like you're exploring your sexuality. You don't have to say that you're a lesbian today if you're not sure.
Right.
But like people just want that community. I don't know if I'm making sense.
You absolutely are. And it's actually interesting because in the dating report that Hinge just did, they say this. They say that there's like a growing kind of label fatigue.
Yeah.
Like this has happened. Everybody felt the need to really label or really push themselves one way.
Yeah.
And so now more people are moving toward like, oh, wait, maybe I don't want to be so rigid in the way I'm thinking. And I'm wondering now that you are dating and you're casually dating and you're on the apps, how does that feel having to kind of dispel that down into boxes? Like you do have to check if I'm bisexual or if I'm, you know,
Queer,
lesbian, queer. Yeah. So how does that translate in the dating world?
I think that for me, dating, I'm strict. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really strict. Like, it's
I like
kind
that.
of bad. Maybe I need to let loose a little bit, but I think that dating has been interesting because I do think sometimes when you check certain boxes, people have like an idea of what you are. So like for me, I'm bisexual, so everyone's like, be by unicorn. And I'm like, you and your boyfriend are nasty. And I'm actually mad. Like, close your eyes, don't even look at me, I'm scared. But like, I feel like people have their ideas of what like certain gender expressions and sexualities mean to them. Like even like what we hear about like when people like make jokes about polyamory and stuff like that. It's like people have their ideas and sometimes it can like limit you. But I do like that on like dating apps like Hinge, like you can put little notes and be like, do not message me if you and your partner are looking for a unicorn.
Wait, interesting. I didn't know about this.
Yeah. Like there's like, they have match notes now. So then like you could just be like, I'm not going to be your third. Unmatch me if that's what you're here for. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, so I feel like it's adding a little bit more like qualifiers. So it's cool.
There's also something that they point out that is what you're talking about now, to where when you say something, there is like this this feeling like, oh, I have to be a certain way.
Yeah.
They're saying that 50% of Hinge daters feel the need to present as more masc or more femme to attract. Yeah. So I guess if you're saying you're a certain gender and you're saying you're a lesbian, you feel like you have to present.
You have to perform that, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Do you feel that need?
I don't, but I also do think that you feel it less if you actually go outside. You know what I mean? Because I feel like when I was chronically online and I was like attaching myself to like every rigid like school of thought that like was presented to me online, I was like, I have to perform in this certain way. I have to, if I am going to be like, because when I was dating my first girlfriend, I was like, I have to be the more masculine in the relationship. I'm gonna like limit more of my like femme dressing. Like I'm just gonna like, I don't know, I'm gonna step up and be the more like masculine part of this dynamic. Not because it was natural to me, but like my ex-girlfriend that was like more recent, like she just naturally was more masculine presenting. And then that was something that she felt like she just wanted to be, not because it was like a label, but that's also because we go outside more. Yeah, I used to just be online like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out about like what people think about what I'm expressing. And I'm also just like, wait, if people went outside, they would mind their own business a little bit more. I think that's like a lot of my friends are in their like 30s to mid 30s. And so they're always just like, girl, it does not matter.
Yeah, like the online conversation.
Yeah, like as much as it does, I think it matters to be educated and to like know about like, to read about it, like read the Bisexual Manifesto or like compulsory heterosexuality and like figure out like that type of stuff. But I don't think that we should be letting like other people online dictate how we express ourselves and feel like we should be when there's like bigger things that we should be focusing on, you know, like especially like our rights being infringed upon. And like, I feel like sometimes we can get like stuck in this little like echo chamber where we're just like, oh my God, this is what matters, when there's like bigger things, bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Do you feel like dating different types of people has helped you shape who you are?
Yeah, I definitely think so. If you looked at the people I've dated, you'd be like, what is the common denominator? I'm confused. I've dated like gender nonconforming people, tall people, short people, like literally you would be like, what is this? What is going on here? Because I'm a personality person. I don't really care about everything else. I'm like, my brain will morph you to be the most sexy person in this freaking world if I think that you're attractive, like personality-wise.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't really care. So like a lot of people, I think I've dated some gender nonconforming people who feel like, and they've expressed to me, like, I don't like to feel like I'm being put in that like binary, you know, and like being like, I don't really want, because in the past they've like maybe like if they're a firm female at birth or whatever, and that they feel like people typically sway that way because of like maybe, I don't know, maybe they feel like they're not passing enough or something. And it's like, I feel like I really appreciate that they're honest with me about that stuff, so then I can be more conscious of it. But it's usually not something that's on my forefront of my mind. I'm like, all I want to know is that how you want to be like perceived and like treated. And then other than that, I'm like, okay, we'll deal with the rest later. Also, I think being a cis woman, it's like, it's a lot easier for me in some spaces where I'm just like, when I'm dating gender nonconforming people, I'm like, okay, how do you want me to show up for you? Or how can I show up for you in a way that makes you feel like seen? Mm-hmm. But other than that, I'm like, be free. You don't have to be like worried about like how you come across to me or show up for me, because I'm like, as long as you're taking care of me, then that's all I care about.
How did you evolve into that? Because you said you started as like lesbian, and then you realized, oh, I want to date guys too. And now it seems like you kind of date everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I don't care. I think just like going outside more, meeting more people. Because I think that for a while I told myself, I was like, yes, I want to date only women. And then I was like kind of like forcing myself to be in these spaces that maybe I didn't feel really like accepted in, and really maybe I didn't identify with some of like, I don't know, just like I was like, maybe I'm not a lesbian because I do sometimes think about if I do like non-femme presenting people, you know? And I was like, And then going outside more and meeting people where like it's personality first and then gender expression after kind of made me be like, oh, it's not as rigid as I thought it once was, you know? Because I think that's kind of sometimes my older friends tell me like, yeah, when we were younger, just like, it was like you liked someone first and then you would talk about the other stuff later. And maybe that's just the people I know. Yeah. But I think going outside, meeting more people. Yeah. Also hanging out with like older queers too. Like older than 35, older than like 40, like hanging out with people who like were actually part of like big, like the progression of like the LGBTQ movement and like how they have interacted with their gender expression and what they feel like they've learned and what they feel like were the drawbacks. I feel like when you have those conversations with people, it kind of broadens your scopes, and then it kind of like you're not like so myopic about one specific thing.
Yeah, I feel like it was almost like before our time, it was like you had to label to find that community for like a survival.
Safety. Yeah. Yes, survival. So that's why I'm like, I don't think that it's bad to find community through that stuff. But I think, those labeling, because I do think it was necessary. And I still think even to this day, it is still necessary. There's a reason why we still have to be like, yeah, I'm queer, like,
Right.
and I identify with the LGBTQ community. But when it comes to your self-exploration, I feel like that's when I'm like, you're at home with yourself. Nobody has a gun to your head.
Right.
Like, figure out what you need and what you feel like before you feel like you have to tell everybody.
Yeah.
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 Because also no one's forcing you.
Right.
No one's really forcing you. Like, online specifically, in real life is a different barrel of worms. Can of worms? Barrel?
I like both.
Are we fishing?
Barrel of worms is interesting.
But like, in real life, that's something else. But if there's a 12-year-old Twitter user being like, you're not expressing your gender the way that I feel like you should be doing it, who cares? But it's a 12-year-old. That's what I realized. I was like, a lot of people who rage bait me online, I'm like, I don't know who you are. You could be a 12-year-old. You could be a 12-year-old, so I'm not gonna engage because there's no way I'm gonna be rage baited by a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
You have to raise your hand to go use the bathroom. I'm letting you affect my day? That's messed up.
When I first came out,
Okay.
I feel like I was really attracted toward a specific type of lesbian that was maybe more masculine presenting because it was what I was used to. I dated men for most of my life.
Yeah.
And then I made this switch and I think it was just like this comfortability in this like hetero dynamic.
Yeah.
And so I dated like a very specific type of lesbian.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went through this phase of like trying to figure out what is my type and like trying to point that like I was attracted to maybe more femme girls or more, I don't know. I was just like broadening my scope.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think I realized that what you're saying is true. Like it is just like a feeling.
Yeah.
And like a personality first thing and finding someone that was like safe for me and balanced my energy well and like was a good kind of mirroring or like match of opposites. Like we just balanced each other well versus like I'm looking for such a specific like masculine lesbian who like dresses a certain way or acts a certain way. Like Matilda's actually a lot more feminine than I would have expected to end up with.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting how that ended up not really even being a thing once I let all of that kind of programming, I guess, kind of go.
So how, if you don't mind sharing, how old were you when you came out?
I moved to LA when I was 25 and I switched my apps to women. And then I fully came out at like 28. So during COVID was when I was discovering all of this. I had my first girlfriend and like really going through kind of my baby queer phase.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I like that you said comfortability, like, because I do think that sometimes when we do talk about comfortability, that is also like, it includes like I think that, I'm like, let me find it.
Yeah.
I guess when you say comfortability, it's like we all have our different categories of what makes us comfortable. And then we just have to figure out like what that actually means, if that makes sense. Like if you're a lesbian, it's like, yeah, I don't want to date anyone who is more masculine or identifies with being a man. And that is something that makes them comfortable, no matter what, like whether that is just like a feeling that is integral and like just like their being, or if that is something that they grew up to feel or something like circumstance, that is valid. Like that is like what makes them comfortable. And then like with bisexuality, it's like I am comfortable with, or pansexuality, it's like comfortable with these different criteria, and then just like figuring out what was like socially imposed onto us and like what we feel like we have to do versus like what was like actually at our core. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But that's a lot of unpacking, I think.
Yeah.
And like trying to sort through. And I think that's like what the beginning phases of queerness is.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like I swung really far and I didn't really have like a bisexual phase. I just was like, okay, I'm a lesbian now.
Yeah, period.
You know?
I think also for me, when I started dating my ex-partner or my first like boyfriend, I had a lot of feelings of being like, am I even queer? Am I messed up for this? Or like, should I have like explored that queerness more? Am I letting down my community? That type of thing. And then I also was like, I feel like I was letting the noise from like what I've heard online and stuff, because the people that I actually like, or the queer community that I was involved with or people around, it's like, they were like, it's way more nuanced than that. And I also do think like the person that I was dating was like questioning their gender expression and the way that they kind of like were socialized and the way that they show up in relationships. So it wasn't like a traditional, like, I'm dating a super hyper masculine man who's doing everything. Like I was a provider for a while, and like he was very like kind and loving and nurturing in a way that like usually the femme is supposed to be, and I'm kind of strict and serious, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so it was like interesting, and it's like, oh, I'm still queer and I know that, and this is still like I'm still benefiting from this seeming like a heterosexual relationship, and I know that too. Two things can be true at once. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It is really complicated, and it's complicated to try to like figure that out. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, who am I trying to figure this out for? Myself or someone else?
Well, I think it's also like interesting as we're talking about like entering into a dating scene.
Yeah,
you are kind of to some degree like being asked to present yourself as if you know or have all of the answers. Exactly. And I think that's what this report is talking about being label fatigue and having like feeling the rigidity and feeling like, how do I exist within this context of these apps without having to be so rigid? What are ways that you have found to do that?
Go on dates. Like actually go on dates. Like, you know how
not only
be
like
go,
look through
yeah, like go on the dates. Like, because that's why I feel like sometimes like you just get stuck in that little micro, like, oh my God, because then I think that sometimes if you are perusing Hinge, you get like, ooh, everybody likes me, I'm so sexy, or maybe the opposite, you're like, oh, this is not my type, why does everybody keep like, and then you just like get stuck in the app.
Sure.
Get up and go on a date.
I love that.
Because like I had started dating around like November, and I like downloaded Hinge, and I met like one of my closest friends through Hinge, and we started talking and dating, and it was like one of those moments where I was like, oh my God, if I would have never came to meet you, it was a little romantic at first, but then it wasn't making sense for both of us. So then we became friends, but I was like, if I didn't leave the house and meet you, I wouldn't have realized how like nuanced you are as a person, you know? Because they're like super tall, masculine presenting, and then we meet and they're like, no, I'm actually super femme. And I'm like, T.
Wow.
But I would have never knew that if I just was going off the app, you know what I mean? Like just the app. Like that's why I think it's nice that like Hinge kind of tells people like go on the date.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know what's behind that page.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like to go on dates. I think it's because it's new for me. I've never done that before, so I'm like, ooh, someone wants to take me out to dinner. That's so fun.
What's the best date you've been on from Hinge so far?
I like casual dates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm like, let's go to a restaurant and then maybe we can run around and see what's next. Because I don't like committing myself to a whole night. Because if you're weird, I'm going home.
Yeah. Fair.
We're not doing all this. Like,
That's
I'm
so
like,
fair.
all of a sudden, oh my God, my knee hurts. I gotta go home. Like,
faking an injury is crazy.
That is actually kind of dramatic. That is it. I'm like, oh my God, ow. Well, we actually they took me line dancing. That was fun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So like queer line dancing? Oh my gosh.
Well, it was actually really cute. They invited me to their house and then they taught me a bunch of line dances so that we could go to line dance and I wouldn't be confused.
Wait, that's so fucking cute.
Yeah, right? I was like, that was cute.
Queer dating is cute. It's very thoughtful.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, be thoughtful. I don't know. Sometimes when I was dating men, I was like, these marbles rolling around in that brain of yours. It's just like nothing, no thoughts.
Yeah.
Head empty. And I'm like, maybe that's also why I feel like sometimes people who are like raised to be masculine, you know, like and presenting as a man, it's like I feel like people do kind of give them a little bit of a pass to be a little bit like loosey-goosey because you're supposed to be the provider. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to think about all that extra stuff. And I'm like, no, you have to think about that extra stuff.
Yeah, require that.
Please.
Standards.
I'm not going out with you again. Like, I think that sometimes it's like people don't realize how much. And this isn't even just like masculine presenting people, but people who don't live alone or people who don't, it's like there's so much more thought that goes into like the everyday that maybe you don't realize when you have like people who take care of you or if you've dated people who kind of take care of you. Because I've been the take carer of people. And I think that when I started dating my ex-girlfriend, the most recent one, I was like, that was the first time I was like, oh my God, they're thinking about things that I never had someone think about me for.
Fair.
Till somebody woos me.
Raise the standards.
My Hinge is, there's no men on there one.
Really?
Yeah. I have it only on women and gender non-conforming people.
I like that.
Because why are you being sexual? You just met me. I don't like that.
I also like how you said go on the dates, because Matilde talks about this a lot. Like we get a lot of questions about building community and how did you make all your friends? And really, Matilde made all of our friends by going on dates.
Go outside.
Yeah.
I'm telling people, go outside.
Yeah.
I like all my best friends I met just from going outside. Like my best friend right now, like we met because I was at a bar. I went to Dyke Day by myself. And then we went to a bar after. And I was just sitting by myself. Blah, blah, blah. And the doorman was like, where are you from? And I was like, I'm from South Sudan. He's like, Sudan Archives is in there. I was like, okay. And she came up to me and she was like, hi. And now we're best friends. Like, that would have never happened if I never went outside.
Yeah.
Alexis would have never happened if I never went on the date.
Yes.
Also, I worked on a set. That's funny. I was recording like a live performance, and one of the set designers or creative directors for the set, we matched on Hinge, and then we started going on dates. And then we became friends too.
How many people that you meet now out in the queer community have you matched with on Hinge already?
I don't want to talk about it.
I feel like
some of them I haven't gone to dates with. We just matched, and then maybe it was a little awkward.
Like, how did we end
Where
up
are we
friends?
going now? Where are we going from here? Because I do think sometimes I have a pretty intense personality. Some people are expecting me to be like, let's go on a date. And I'm like, no, you do it.
You expect to be pursued.
At least have some confidence.
Okay.
I think everyone needs to fake it till they make it.
Okay. Do you feel like this lines up with that? Like, daters feel the need to present more masc or femme?
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me
Because
more.
I feel like because I'm black and I'm tall, I have a pretty intense personality. People are like, mask. And I'm like, actually, no. You were going to open my door for me. And that's actually why for a while I was having issues like dating femmes off Hinge, because it was feeling like I was being put into a box.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. And how have you gotten out of that? Do you change your prompts on Hinge?
I'll have a little bit of a conversation and I'll
Okay.
see how they're going. Because sometimes it's like, oh, I'm just a little baby and you take care of me and you drive and you're in love with me. And I'm like, ugh, girl, not for me. For somebody else, not for me.
Okay, wait. Let's talk about your curation of your Hinge.
You want to see it?
Yeah, let's talk about it. I want to see like
Give me tips, pointers. You're in a committed relationship. I am not. So maybe I need some help. Let's see. This is my page.
Okay, let's see. The first prompt, I love this. The one thing you should know about me is I don't wear a lot of color, but I love to be surrounded by it. That's
Yeah.
so cute.
My apartment's like so colorful. Like it looks like a Nickelodeon set.
I love that. And it also like you're like basically saying like, you might see this, you might think this of me.
Wait, you're thinking about things I didn't even think
Of course. You're like, you might look at me and think this, but actually I'm like, I love bright and color and like,
And I'm
so
silly.
I like that.
Because people sometimes see me and they're like, she's serious. And I'm like, I can crack a joke or four.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, so you're
I forgot what I put on there.
okay, it says 24, bisexual. Do you feel like that best describes where you're at with your sexuality?
Bisexual means 2 plus more. 2 or more.
2 or more.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
2 or more. It's the more for me. So, you know.
I love that. Okay, so we're not feeling boxed in. Pisces.
I'm a Pisces.
I'm a Pisces rising, so
I'm a Pisces.
we love a Pisces. Taurus. I'm Gemini. She's Taurus. But what's your rising? You don't know. Mitzel's not really into all
What's
of
your
that.
moon sign?
Leo.
What's your Venus sign?
I don't know. I'd have to pull
I
out
need
my
you
chart.
guys' sinister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, these pictures are great. We're gonna put them up here. There's this your
Junie
cat.
Booney. Mm-hmm. Same with Juniper. I was
Love
thinking
this.
Mars or Aries.
I'm convinced that coleslaw is good.
Okay, have you seen the online discourse? People are like, coleslaw is disgusting. You're disgusting and filthy if you like coleslaw. I'm like,
I love coleslaw. This shows that like
I don't care.
you love coleslaw.
I'll eat the coleslaw.
You'll
I
eat
don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think. Make fun of me. I will eat it straight in front of your face. And you will kiss me after.
I like that.
That actually happened. I was dating someone who's like disgusted by everything. And that's how I knew that they liked me. It was because I ate a hot dog at the movie theater. And then we made out after. Hot dog breath.
That's a great test.
I was like, you like me? You like me. You don't like hot dogs, but you like it off my breath. You like me.
Okay, I get myself out of a funk by going out alone. Sometimes you got to remind yourself that you can just do things. I love that. Shows independence. shows that you
Yeah.
love yourself, that
Yeah.
you can hang out alone with yourself.
Yeah, no codependency here.
Yeah, this is a good sign.
Get a hobby and a friend.
I like
I'm
that.
so sorry.
You with the microphone. This is great.
That's actually where I met Elise. Elise did the set design for it, and then that's when the Hinge date that we met, and then we started going on dates.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because they were like, "Oh my God, I loved working on the set with you."
This is amazing. Okay. It also shows that you're like artsy,
Yeah,
That
I was
you-
stressed out and cold that day.
have a good cold.
It was cold as fuck.
It was probably 75 degrees. In this place.
50?
Okay.
50? It was cold.
Okay. And then this, look, you're wearing color here, yellow.
I was
So
in Thailand.
I love it. This is beautiful. It shows that we travel.
That was my birthday. Yeah.
I think this is so great. And it shows so much of your personality.
I had another prompt, and it said, "What is your yearly goal?" And it was like, "I want to learn how to do backflip." And then people were like, have you learned how to do backflip? And I haven't learned how to do backflip yet. So
you had to delete
I had
it.
to delete it.
You did not. It
I
was
didn't
too
learn
much
how to do it.
accountability.
It's 7 months in. I didn't know how to do a backflip by now. And now I'm like, Lord, now I feel inadequate. I can't do this.
Okay, so in this report, they found that a third of Hinge daters have considered dating someone outside of the gender expression that they're usually attracted to, but more than half, it says 55%, didn't act on it. And here's why. They doubted their own feelings. They hesitated due to unfamiliarity with queer dating, or they feared rejection.
That's sad.
Did you feel any of that when you were kind of exploring dating new genders, or do you have any advice for these people?
I think that because I didn't really have, I was like ignorant, so I didn't really know like that I should be worried about that stuff, and that's why I felt so free. Like for me, it was like all I had to worry about was the fact that my mom was a Catholic. Like my mom was a nun before she moved to America.
Wow.
Girl. The
Wow.
Catholic guilt in me was crazy. That's all I had to worry about.
Right.
But once I got past that, then I just felt free because I wasn't really aware of like all of the extra nuanced like things that were going on in the queer community and like maybe
Right.
those labels, especially because I've never really been part of a community that was like, well, before I wasn't part of a community that was like open and talking about that, even if they were like, because I think sometimes straight people like to like speculate on people's sexuality, but I wasn't around people who like to talk about that because it was like taboo.
Right.
But I do think I understand where it comes from because one of my past partners who is masculine presenting was talking about how a lot of the time, like I think as a man or like when you're friends with a lot of men, it's like there's not that room for experimentation without being immediately labeled as like gay. And so that's why I was like, I understand where it comes from because it is like the social implications of exploration. It's just like not, and I think it is due to patriarchy. It's like everything is men. Like if you are a woman who experiments with a man, then you are immediately straight in some regard. If you
Right.
are a man who experiments with another man, you are immediately gay in some regard. So it's like that hyper focus on what being with a masculine or a man does to you. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's almost like a condition. And I think that has to do with a lot with like, I mean, it ties in with like the way that men view sex and the way that men, it's not a dance for some people. It is like a way to exhibit control. And if you're willing to like experiment, then I think that it does feel scary because then it's like, well, these men are going to think I'm less of a man because I was with a man, you know, but just surround yourself with like better people.
Fair.
You know, I don't mean that in a negative way. And I think that it is a privilege to have better people, but allowing your voice to be louder than everybody else's. I think if that's not an option as well, it's like explore, because in the end of the day, you could just remind yourself and be like, they probably have some repressed feelings.
Yeah.
Or even if they don't have repressed feelings, they are not allowing other people to live in their truth. Why? Why are they so obsessed with the way that everybody else is living? That's not their business. That's not their problem.
Yeah, I think that's a really fair perspective. It's like when I was living in Texas and I was closeted, I thought that this is the way the world thinks, you know, because this is what I was constantly surrounded by. But then the minute I moved to a place where, not saying that everybody has the ability to move, but just that there are other voices out there and maybe seek out those voices in those communities and, you know, maybe value their opinions over the opinions of those who are kind of still
hyper fixated in their little communities. Because I feel like and the people that would used to like like, I love my mom, but like the things she used to say about the queer community, and like when I came out, it was like a whole thing we didn't speak. It was really intense. But it's like there are parts of the way that she lives that I wouldn't want to be. I'm like,
right.
I know that you feel repressed, and I see it in maybe a way that you don't. I love you, but I'm going to respect that from a distance. You know, I'm not going to let your voice become louder than my own. And I think that if you have people that love you, they like amplify your voice louder in your head. You're like, wait, I am right. And so when you are around maybe some closed-minded people or people that are not really willing to let you live your truth, and it doesn't feel as like damaging to your spirit, it'll still hurt.
Yeah.
To this day, it still upsets me that my mom, like, when I was dating my ex-girlfriend, my mom would like not call her my girlfriend. She was living with me. Like, it's just like, your friend. And that stuff hurt. But then I was like, well, I know that I love her, and I know that we are in a relationship, and things didn't work out. But when it was working out, it was like, I'm not going to let other people, because I had so many people around me that were like, this is a legitimate relationship. And then I was telling myself that. So I believed it, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like, don't take advice from someone whose life you wouldn't want to live.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair. Like someone who you view as repressed, or, you know, who maybe isn't living in their full truth or as, you know, liberated as you are or you want to be, then maybe you shouldn't value their opinion over your queer community.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like also remove, like, you don't want to live like somebody else. I think sometimes the money can blind people. Be like, oh, well, this person lives such a good life, so maybe it's the queerness that's stopping me from living that good life. And I'm like, no, let's look beyond that, you know?
Interesting, yeah.
Because I do think I've met some people who are like, well, I want to be successful, and I can't be successful if I'm trying to explore myself or do whatever. And I'm like, well, no, there are a lot of successful queer people. You're just like kind of honing in on like the things that confirm your fears.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's easier sometimes to be scared. Well, it's not easier, but it's a safer thing sometimes to be afraid. And I think I understand either any queer person that's like going through like fears or confusion, I understand where it is. And if you're able to like find a way to explore yourself safely, please do it. Because in the end of the day, you live and you die for yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't want to sit. I don't know. That was like my worst fear. I was like, I don't want to like one day look back and be like, why didn't I live the way that I wanted to? Because like, especially my mom, the church, and like no shade to the church, love your iconography, love the cross, love the cross and the beads. But I was like, oh my God, one day, like, I like to sing in church, but there's such a part of me that harbors like such shame and fear. And I'm like, is that going to be the thing that drives me for the rest of my life? Or am I going to have to be scared for a little bit and alone for a little bit?
Yeah.
But, you know, that's a position of privilege to be able to do that. There's people that live in places that like safety.
Yeah.
Safety is your number one priority.
Yes.
But try, maybe. If you are safe.
Try. Give it a little try.
Give it a little bit. Come on.
Oh, you are so much fun to talk to. Do you have any last words for daters out there?
Go outside.
Yes.
Please. Go on a date. Laugh a little bit. Talk to the cashier. Don't do that thing where you just stare at people. It's weird.
Go on the date.
Go on the date. Go outside.
I think my best dating advice is go on the date, but approach it with like an open mind where it's like, this person does not have to fulfill a specific box for me. Maybe I am hoping it will turn into that, but if it doesn't, maybe this person could be something else. Maybe they could be a really good friend. Maybe they could be like a work connection. Maybe they could be, who knows? But I think if you just approach it with like, I'm going to go have a fun night. I'm going to get out of the house.
And they think I'm sexy.
And they think and you're starting off, right? Like they like something about you.
Exactly.
So just maybe take it with like a lighter, funner tone.
Yeah. Take it day by day. Don't be stressed about the future. Live in the now.
Live in the now.
Live in the now.
Love that. Okay, and one more piece of dating advice. Everybody go check out Hinge's LGBTQIA+ date report. That's D.A.T.E, data, advice, trends, and expertise. Report for tips, real stories, and advice on exploring love beyond labels. It'll probably make you feel less alone and better about entering into the dating scene. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on here.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being here. Can you please tell people where to find you?
Everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm in your walls. I'm just kidding. Most of my socials are Sarah Lugor, SarahLugor.
Thank y'all for listening to today's episode. As always, help us spread the gay agenda by writing an Apple review, rating us on Spotify, and sharing with everyone you've ever met. And if you haven't yet, join our subscription community, Made It In, for exclusive Made It Out media shows, content, and chat rooms at madeitout.supercast.com. Made It Out is produced by Matilde Jordan and worked on solely by lesbians.
Let's go on a date. Maybe we will fall in love, then delete the apps.